Hello and welcome. Today I would like to share with you the new template that I've been using as Spain versus Germany. It also worked very well as Mexico versus the United States. It's not an early template, but not a late template either. It's a 1940, so we are going to design this template with the technologies available for that date. In 1940 we have the elite mechanized infantry level 1, so we are going to use this as a base infantry. The role of the infantry is to provide hit points, and this mechanized infantry have a lot of hit points, 30 hit points each one, more than the 25 that the regular infantry provides. So this unit is going to be a base a bit stronger, and they also have harness. Harness means that they are going to be taking less damage, about 46% of the regular damage in this situation, since they are going to be taking 60% of hard attack and only 40% from soft attack. Then we are going to add engineers. Is a must-have because they provide more speed and bonuses on different terrains, and we are going to be using rangers. This is including with one of the last DLC, and the rangers specialize in mountains that are going to be providing very good terrain bonus in all terrains, but especially in mountains we are going to be having a 20% attack bonus, so this unit is going to be working not only on plains but also in mountains and all kind of terrain. After this, of course, we are going to be using the flamer tank. The flamer tank is a must-have for all offensive units, since they provide also very good attack bonus on different terrains that are going to be multiplying these values. So we have these base values, but the terrain modifiers are super important, and the engineering flamer tanks and rangers modify these values in a very positive way. Then we are going to be adding the main battle tank. The main battle tank is going to provide soft attack and breakthrough, and it's going to be the main, giving us a lot of armor, and it's all going to make the unit very hard. So we are going to be very hard to hit, and the more tanks you add, you can start with one and then add 2, 3, 4 until you reach 2 columns, I mean 2 brigades. But I'm using in Spain, only 4 battalions, and it's working great. But if you can afford 8, is much better. The difference is that if you have only 4, you have soft attack and you have a lot of hit points in relation. If you have a lot of resources, you can add 8 tank battalions and you're going to be having more soft attack, but the relations to hit points is going to be a little bit lower, but you're going to be gaining hardness and armor, so you're going to be taking less damage, but the unit is going to be very expensive, and if you get hit, since you have less proportional hit points, you're going to be suffering losses. Also be careful of attrition. So if you are a poor nation, you can use 3 medium tanks, and if you are rich, you can use 8 medium tanks. Now we shall add a battalion anti-air and an anti-tank battalion to provide the piercing. Some people prefer to save if you don't have resources, and you can use this, and you can add the following, I mean this one, and this is very cheap, but you are making your unit softer, and that makes your unit a lot weaker. You don't want this really. And also take a look at the piercing. We have now a piercing of 60, and let's see what happens if we replace this thing by a tank destroyer. The piercings go to 81, a much better options, since you're not going to be able to defeat the enemy tanks battalions if you use the self-propelled artillery, I mean the this one. If you use this thing, you're not going to be able to pierce the Sherman tanks nor the United States tanks. You want the tank destroyer. Also, it makes the units harder and with more armor. So we have a basic version now, a lot of piercing, a lot of armor, and it's looking good. What about the next companies? You have 2 options here. If the division is small like this, I recommend you go artillery and rockets. This will give you an extra 10% soft attack. But if you're going to be using more tanks, I mean 4 more battalions, I recommend you replace the rockets and the artillery by the logistics. Since this is going to be a very heavy unit, you want to take down the logistics, and if you have close air support, you should use a radio. It will increase by 100% the effectivity of the planes. If you want to maximize the elite status of this unit and keep it that way, you should use the hospital. And if you are concerned about the reliability of your tanks, you want to save money, you should the maintenance company. Since the tanks have a reliability of 90%, you're going to be taking the reliability to 95%, and you're going to be losing very few tanks. So this is the version for Germany, but if you play as Spain, for example, Mexico, you can only use 4 tanks battalions and you're going to be okay. This is kind of overpowered. And now let's go to the design. This is the main battle tanks. It's the Panzer IV. We are going to be using a 2-person turret because the 3-1 will make the tank a little bit slower. The speed is going to be 6.4 since the Rangers move at horse at 6.4, and we need a slower tank to increase our armor to the max. We are going to be using 13 armor points, 3 on engines, diesel engine for reliability, and improved transmission for speed, and we are going to be the intermediate wielding to get more armor. We are going to be using this for increasing the armor. We are going to be using the radio for more breakthrough, and we are going to use 2 heavy machine guns and the improved howitzer. So we are going to be having a lot of damage and a lot of breakthrough and a lot of armor. This is the purpose of our main battle tank. This is the Jagged 4, it's our tank destroyer. We are going to be using a fixed turret, so we can mount a heavy cannon. If you use a fixed turret, you can use an upper level cannon, and this is the advanced heavy cannon. So we are going to be doing a lot of soft attack, a lot of hard attack, and a lot of piercing. We are going to be using this to improve the piercing. We are going to use the heavy machine guns and the improved armor, a lot of armor points, speed, and again the diesel engine and the transmission and improved armor, so we keep the armor rating of the whole division high. This is the design of the anti-air 2-person turret, anti-air improved heavy machine gun, and the standard for the tank as we have seen in the other models. And the only one that is special is the flamer tank, since the soft attack and hard attack get a penalty of 66%, but the tank fuels do not. We are exploiting this and putting all the fuel in the flamer tank, so we have 2-person turret, flamer, the tanks, the same wielding, but we are saving some money with the transmission and with the engine, less points of armor. This is not the role of the flamer tank. The role of the flamer tank is to transport fuel and use the flamer. That's all. And this is the model I'm using with Spain. I should use the logistic instead of the signal since I do not have close air support, but I don't have the tech. So I'm using this, and it's going super easy through the mountain since I have the Rangers company, but you can also score defeat in the plains. And the standard damage of this edition is 1k, it's more than enough, a lot of breakthrough, and you should be able to provide your army with some of these. I started with just 3, but now I have 5, 6, and as you can see they work very well. That's all, hope you find this useful and have a great day. Bye bye.